Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. Ernesto Elliott, 45 years old, a Jamaican that was prevented from deportation, is now in prison for murder in the UK, ladies and gentlemen. It's a breaking news. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. You know I'm Rastafari, so the here of Deep Roots TV, and you're looking at an incident that took place 2022. Ernesto Elliott, 45, and his young son brutally killed another young man in England. Now, one of the reasons why we are reporting about this, Ernesto was to be deported to Jamaica because of his prior conviction. Now, there was an effort to stop the deportation of many other, convicts last year. People such as Naomi Campbell and other well-known superstars put their name to a petition to stop this from occurring. But it appears that Ernesto and his son pounced on an alleged friend that had provided them with some narcotics, and it appears that they robbed their friend of the narcotics and an undisclosed sum of money and fatally injured him with stabbing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunate another Jamaican that is now in custody abroad. And it's not right that, another man has lost their life. So Ernesto Elliott and his son will be spending life in prison for the murder of this other gentleman. And, the UK, parliamentarians and leaders are asking, where is the outrage? A celebrity plan to, make their point known. It appears that Elliott was due to board a Homeland Security charter flight in 2020 at December. Just 6 months later, the 35-year-old man attacked another man in a horrifying knife fight, ladies and gentlemen. A slew of celebrities who protest against the deportation of the Jamaican criminal have kept silent. It was revealed he went on to commit murder in the UK. Ernesto Elliott was due to be boarding on a Home Office charter flight December 20th, but dodged the effort of being removed. And thanks to last-minute human rights appeal backed by Labour MP and a host of celebrities, but in June 2021, 6 months after he was supposed to have been removed from the Britain, Elliott murdered 35-year-old man in a horrifying knife fight, ladies and gentlemen. Elliott was last month jailed for at least 26 years for murder. Supermodel Naomi Campbell, Line of Duty actress Fandwe Newark Newton, and soul singer Beverly Knight kept speaking out against Elliott's deportation, among other criminals. But tonight there are no comments from them. Subsequently, he has been convicted for murder. Historian Dave Olusoga also did not respond to the questions. Where are they now? Me sick and tired of it also. Labour MP Clive Lewis, who conducted and coordinated a letter against the removal of the 2020 flight, made no comment either. The letter was signed by fellow Labourer politicians. Former Homeland Secretary Priti Patel led the criticism of her blocking the deportation, today backed by current Home Security Sula Braverman and Troy MP Chris Phillip, Minister of State of Crime. Speaking today at the police exchange event, Patel said, "I was heavily involved in that at Home Security at the time, and I'm afraid as ever we come up against various special immigration laws, Labour MP, but also celebrities who for some reason thought that they should stop a deportation flight of foreign nationals, offenders going back to Jamaica. And that was completely wrong. So I'm afraid it is absolutely appalling, And individual who should have been on the plane basically was taken off the flight and went on to commit murder." Braverman tweeted, "The murderer should have been deported on a flight out of the country in 2020, but the courts blocked his removal after dozens of Labour MPs cried out it was an injustice. So much for their plea to keep Britain's streets safe." And Philip added, an immigration minister in 2020, "I tried to deport these dangerous criminals, but Labour MPs and various celebrities, including Naomi Campbell and Thaddeus Newton, Naomi Harris, and David Olusoga, opposed the flight, and most criminals were taken off the flight following a legal challenge." This gentleman is a menace to society. Elliott was last month jailed for at least 26 years for murder. So I saw them, man, I love England, I love their own white people. Them would rather, before them get deported and go back on them yard, murder people so them can stay in a jail. So I tell us that Jamaicans are a real fraud abroad. Some are not a fraud a yard. That's why I not bleach out in the face. Months later, the man subsequently brutally murdered one of our fellow citizens. Labour MP and virtue signaling celebrity should think again. On June 2nd, 2021, Elliott was involved in a vicious knife fight in a broad daylight in Greenwich, southeast London, alongside his son Nico, who was 23. Elliott robbed and murdered 35-year-old Nathaniel Eyewu-Ago in raw daylight and said it was over a drug deal. The horrifying incident was videoed by shocking neighbors. It shows Elliott, his son, and another man repeatedly lunging with a long blade knife and a hammer at the victim, who was armed with a machete. Mr. Eyewu-Ago collapsed after being stabbed through the heart and died in the hospital 6 days later. Onlookers who witnessed the bloody 8-minute confrontation suffered significant trauma. Police said it was a crime that would never have taken place if Elliott, 45, had been sent back to his birth country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it sounds as if Elliott should have been sent out because he was on the chartered plane or scheduled to be on the chartered plane, a Boeing 757, on December 2nd, 2020, after being convicted of a knife crime, police source said. But he added he had 22 other serious criminal submitted last-minute appeal, including human rights claim, which led to them avoiding deportation to Jamaica. The 23 criminals had been sentenced to a combination of 156 years in jail. Their appeal came just days after 60 celebrity authorities and other public figures signed an open letter opposing the flight. They include supermodel Naomi Campbell, Line of Duty, Thadwell Newton, James Bond actress Naomi Harris, and historian David Olusaga. A host of Labour MP also added their signature. Opposition MP even compared the deportation flight to a Windrush scandal, even though the Caribbean migrants who suffered awful injustice in the episode had committed no crime. After a trial at the Old Bailey last month, Elliott from Walthamstow, East London, was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 26 years and current sentence of 12 years for robbery. Keeping him in jail will cost the taxpayer more than $1.3 million, 1.3 million pounds at current rate. His son was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of term of 22 years and current statement of 10 years for the robbery. Detective Chief Inspector Kate Karen said that fathers and son were prepared to use any form of violence necessary to protect their stolen property after robbing the victim of his drugs and cash. She added that the crime had caused significant trauma to innocent members of the public who witnessed it all. Former Home Security Ms. Patel said that the case is exactly why we must continue to defy the protestants or the protestation from the Labour Party and do good celebrities and immigrant lawyers and remove convict foreigners, criminals, rapists, murderers, child abusers, and drug dealers who have no right to be in our country. After avoiding deportation in 2020, Elliott, I thought, to have been released back to the streets within weeks. The Home Office can detain foreign nationals offender only if there are realistic prospect of imminent removal. Phillips said that it is disappointing that specialist immigrant law firms continue to use last-minute tactics to remove a significant number of offenders from these flights. Those we are attempting to remove have committed crimes which have a devastating impact on the victims and the families. Another foreign criminal who avoided being sent back to Jamaica on the same flight was murderer Michael Anthony White. He and accomplice Hecton Alexander Pink received life sentence at London Kingston Crown Court 2003 after shooting a man 6 times at close range. A Home Office spokesman said foreign national offenders who exploit our system and commit crime here in the UK will face the full force of the law, including deportation at the earliest opportunity of those eligible. While legal challenges can frustrate immediate deportation, we remain resolved in our commitment to deport those who abuse our hospitality. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a shame again. Another Jamaican go to a foreign land, and that's why I don't tell them come over my yard. They will come to your yard like Ernesto Elliott and go on like a for them yard. Me not strengthen no one fi hurt me. And that is my new policy and my new philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV reporting live. A Jamaican man that was supposed to be deported 2020 end up done a man in a 2021. Ernesto Elliott, 45. He was supposed to be deported, and celebrities like Naomi Campbell and other people vouched for this crime. criminal. And he was supposed to be deported by December 2020. December the 2nd. And before him chill out, by June 2nd, 2021, he was involved in a broad day knife fight that cost the life of a young 35-year-old black man. Because that's the only people we can kill. Only ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your comment on this one. I know it was a little bit long, but I had to explain to you. Sometimes I snap on my own people, my melanated people, because I've recognized that they're real evil. Me not quote it up. I have recognized that my people are real evil. Them not have no love. Them not have no likes. Not for you and me. Not for no one that look like them. Them can kowtow to the European. And I said hats off to them. Because if it wasn't for European, what a bam bam. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rastafari Soldier here reporting live. A man that was supposed to be deported and go back to Jamaica and live a better life, fight this stay foreign and end up take another one of his brother's life, him and his son. So right now, both of them, Ernesto Elliott, 45, and him young 22-year-old son, is spending life in prison in England, in Britain, around the white man. And I explained to you people, black people would rather spend life in prison around white people than to be free around me. So, I don't have no love with me half now people who don't have no love for me. I'm more of life. I'm more joy. I'm more love for me. I put past on evil people. And me don't care if you're black or you're white. Me burn you up. Burn you up. I'm not too evil and too wicked to no own. I hope you perish in a jail, you and your son. I truly hope you perish in a jail. Man like them not to live.